Good morning, everyone. How you doing? It's a little snowy out here today, so no point in doing the driveway yet. So I figured I'd just let her snow. So today, what I thought I would do is show you guys how to start a fire. And this isn't a fancy way or anything, but this is my way, and it's a pretty easy, simple way, and it's a good way to recycle stuff that we have in our home, and stuff from the workshop. And it's a pretty neat thing because it involves wax, which has not sure when wax was discovered, but I know it's been around for many centuries, and it's a pretty neat thing. So part of this product that I've made into a fire starter is made from wax, and it's also made from shavings, sawdust shavings. So I find the best is long stranded chainsaw chips, or from a thickness planer. They're pretty cool. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of show you my setup real quick here, because it's snowing pretty good that I wasn't sure how the snow was gonna do with the camera situation. So I wanted to make sure you could see the snow, but not get the phone all snowy. So not sure how to flip the camera around here, so just give me 1 second here. Okay, everyone, so hopefully I'm figuring this out right. Not sure if I am. Trying to make little clippets here, just so that the video's not so long. But there's the little camp setup, I guess, if you want to call it that, just so I can film underneath the tarp and show you guys how I light a fire, and then we'll get the fire going good. And then what I'll do is I'll share along the way as I do the fire. But then what I'll do is I'll end that video, and then probably what I'll do is I'll do the devotion beside the fire once it's going real nice. And so hopefully you all enjoy, and yeah, so here we go. Alright, everybody, so this is how I start a fire. So again, as we were talking about with the wax and sawdust shavings and stuff, this is what I make, and this is a fire starter. So we don't need to use this whole thing. This whole thing would probably burn for, I don't know, well over an hour. So we can just, what I do when they're this big is I just chop them in half. I light half of it, and away we go. Not sure really the concept, except that there's oil or something in the wax and all that kind of good stuff, and it's flammable. And so, you know, it makes me think of a lot of things. It makes me think of, you know, most house fires start from candles and stuff like that, and it could just be as simple as that the wax actually catches on fire. And when wax catches on fire, man, let me tell you, it's hard to put out. But the cool thing is it's waterproof. So if you drop this in the water, pull it back out of the water, and she'll light right up, no problem at all. So it's waterproof. It's a never fail thing. And just like a guy that I know always told me, he says, hey man, if you're ever heading anywhere, doesn't matter whether it's in the bush or heading to the city or whatever, but he always said, make sure you always have a lighter, even if you don't smoke cigarettes or anything like that, because cigarettes are bad for you, and he doesn't smoke. And he always just said, though, make sure you got a lighter with you. You never know when you may need fire to survive. And ever since that day, regardless, I always make sure that I have a lighter, just for that reason. And this will kind of continue to branch into a few different things that I'm going to do over the next couple of days. But it's just pretty neat, the different elements that God has given us. So, he's given us fire, he's given us water, he's given us trees to use in multiple different ways, whether it's for construction, finished carpentry, where it's our furniture, our beds, or night tables, all these different things. The list goes on to the wax, which would have started way back in the day, for them trying to see their ways through caves and tunnels and all the different ways that they used to live way back then. So it's a really neat element. And so literally just with this here and a lighter, you're set. And there's multiple different things, if you had to go that way, that you could go after to survive, to eat and stuff like that. So the best thing here is I'm just going to show you how I like to get the fire going, and then we can kind of stockpile and add some little bit more heavier stuff here. And yeah, then we can keep warm, and hopefully you guys will be able to remember this video and use it well into your futures. So like I said, I start off with half, and this here is a axe that one of the youth had made up. So we're going to put this axe to use that he made, and build this fire. So here we go. So again, keep your fingers away. We'll use let's just use a piece of kindling instead of our fingers, just so we can cut this in half and not go it flying. So there we go. So that's probably lots. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna, down into my pocket here, we're gonna grab ourselves a lighter. So I got my lighter. We'll set that there. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a little bit of this birch and chop it up a little bit finer, just so that we don't go through these chunks of cedar that I got for kindling, because it'll just go right up and we'll have no fire. There's one piece. There's two. Because what'll happen is this'll light, but because it's a better wood, it'll get hotter and help light these bigger pieces on fire. So I don't know about you, but this axe is working pretty good. So if you end up watching this, James, good work, man. I'm just gonna cut that one more time. And my preference too, when I was just doing that, you should always make sure that you don't have anybody directly across from you, just in case. You never know. You get into an old axe or whatever, and the head could come flying off, and you could hit someone. So you'd want to just pay attention to that kind of thing. So here we go. So what I do now is I light this chunk of wax. But first I'm gonna open this up so I can get to the kindling. So what I do is I take this chunk of fire starter and I light the paper, if my lighter will light. And that's another thing, you'd want to make sure you got a good lighter. Don't go in the bush with a dead lighter. So you'll see that it's already lit, and that'll just keep on going. So what I like to do is I like to just take something like this piece here that we just cut. You take that there like that, and then what we're going to do is we take these pieces of cedar, just lay it around here like so. Effortless, there's no work, you'll have an instant fire, no troubles, no headaches, guaranteed meal, you're not going to waste energy. Oh man, does the cedar ever smell nice. So you just build yourself up a beautiful fire like that, and it's gonna be good and warm here in no time at all. So once we think we got enough kindling, there we go. So once we believe we got enough kindling and stuff on here, that's gonna be a pretty hefty duty heat for our first start. Then we want to take these heavier hardwood chunks that we did and just very lightly pile them up around the fire. And then as we do that, because TP I find is the best, or you can make them in a box. So you just like two this way, two that way, two this way, two that way, two this way, two that way, two this way, two that way. And as long as the air can flow through the fire when you're all the wood when you're first starting it, you'll have the best fire, and it'll get going. Once you got a bed of coals in the bottom, then you'll have her set, because it'll keep itself going from there on out. You don't have to worry as much. And I'm just gonna throw this bigger chunk on here because it's completely dry, rotted, and dead. So we'll do that, and that'll be our fire. So know that as long as you got that, you're gonna be good to go. It's never gonna go out. It's just a matter of keeping wood on it, and then what we'll do is I'm gonna try to see if I can do a couple other little videos here, and we found this hole in the bush, got the fire in the hole, so it'll kind of retain a bit of heat here, and then what we'll do is we've got a tarp for the camera for you guys, and what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make another video, and there's a log or whatever that's tied to the tree. It's been there for a while now, a few years actually, and there's a bunch of down branches or logs that are behind it that have been there forever. They're pretty dry, and so what we'll do is we'll make a little shelter. So we'll make a full video so that if you're ever in the bush and had to survive, or wanted to build something a little bit more windproof and sustainable for to get a little bit longer camping season, then I'll show you what little bit I know, and hopefully it'll help and that you guys will enjoy that. So But there's the fire. Like I said, it was effortless. It'll keep going. We'll just add wood to it. So thank you, Lord, for all these elements that we could use to have warmth and be able to survive no matter where we go. God says that if we have faith in Him and we step out and trust our lives to Him, He'll provide everything we need, regardless of where we are at in life. He's that amazing of a God. His love never ends. So thank you guys for watching this video. Love yous all, and this fire is pretty toasty. So till the next one, take care. Love yous.